Hey family, Nettie here. Welcome on back to Transcendent Love. Welcome back to the OGs. And if you are new here, this is your first time, hey there. Welcome on in. Chillax with us for a second. See if you like it over here. If the message resonates, take it for yourself. If it doesn't, leave it behind. The whole message may not fit. Some of the message may fit. None of it may fit. You never know, but you gotta watch to find out. I hope everybody is doing great. I am fantabulous. And I'm back with these channeled messages. If you're new here, my name is Nettie, and I channel messages from Spirit. Um, a lot of esoteric wisdom that only can come from Source. So stick around, see if you like it, see if the message fits, as I said before. And I'm not a religious person, but often scripture comes out. And today is a perfect example of that. To start the messages, I was just hearing when I was asking Spirit what the messages would be about today. The message is about becoming. And in the becoming, Spirit is saying, don't despise small beginnings. And what is meant there is don't think that very small or seemingly small incremental changes toward where you want to be are meaningless or insignificant. Don't despise small beginnings. The thing that we often do that ends up discouraging us is trying to take too much of a load in the direction of change. But it's extremely important to know that you have to trick your mind. You got to trick yourself out of the old conditioning in a sense. And you're not really tricking yourself so much as you are retraining your brain. And it takes time. It takes small incremental changes in the direction that you're trying to go. And you have to make it more simple than trying to do the entirety of a thing oftentimes. So you hear people talk about their changes and how they got into the places that they got into and how they had to take these small steps. And I've recommended this book before. I'll recommend it again. I'll recommend it always because it is such a gem when it comes to change. It is Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you have never read it, make sure you read it because it talks about exactly this that Spirit is bringing up today. You don't have to do the largest thing to make the biggest difference to start, right? The only way you as a human are going to stick to a change is if you do it a little bit over time. The popular saying goes, it's a question, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, which means that you got to take incremental pieces to eat the elephant. The elephant is the thing that you need to change to get to the place that you desire to be. So you have to break it down in smaller, digestible, more palatable pieces so that you actually get there. It doesn't matter what it looks like to anybody else. It doesn't matter how silly or how stupid it seems at first, even to you, because your mind, your brain will begin to try to talk you out of it. Look how silly you look. You only put on your shoes today. You've only been putting on your shoes for the entirety of the week. You never did actually go out and do the thing in the shoes. Spirit used this example as well. I can imagine that maybe men notice this a lot in women, but I'll tell you what happens. And women, we know this about ourselves and we see it in other women. It's just a thing that we do. But there's a thing that's happening subconsciously that we aren't always accounting for. So, you ever notice when a woman has made up her mind that she is going to begin her fitness journey, she first goes and buys new gym wear. She goes and buys the cute little top, the cute bottoms, the shoes, the whole thing, right? And it seems nonsensical at first, but she is actually tuning her brain. She's tricking her brain in a sense to associate this behavior with something that she also likes. So she likes to look cute. It is the treat is to look cute while doing the thing, right? So when you look good, you feel good. So we endeavor to look good while doing the thing that we don't necessarily desire 100% to do. Like we want to do it, we desire to make the change, but our brain is not fully there yet. So when you associate and attach a measure of reward to a thing, then it makes you more likely to actually do it. Hopefully that music is not too loud and y'all can actually hear me. I feel like we compete. We got the jazz players in the back trying to outdo me. But that's what's happening. You are just retraining your brain and you're doing it a little bit at a time. It makes the most difference to do it this way because you add just a little bit more. You at a time, you add just a little bit more over time. I'm gonna share with y'all something that is kind of hilarious. Hilarious to me. I giggled when it happened. So one of the things, like many of you, I'm on a fitness journey. So one of the things that I endeavor to do is a handstand. I am not fully there as of yet, okay? Let's be clear. In fact, this is one of the things that is an example of what I always tell you guys about just following the nudge, following the guidance of spirit, even if you don't fully understand it. Now, I had not thought about doing handstands before. I don't even fully, I need to look it up. I don't even fully understand the benefit of a handstand, with the exception of it's just strengthening your upper body, which big old deal in my mind if you can support the entirety of your weight on your hands, okay? Upside down. But it's never been a real desire of mine. But recently I felt that new desire. So I followed the leading and I started to do wall assisted, very heavily wall assisted, and on my forearms, handstands for a minute every day, just to build up that tolerance. And at the first, it feels like, or when you first start, it feels like this is dumb. But however will you gain mastery? You have to really consider this from a very real standpoint. Now, I'm doing this at home in the company of these four walls in the sound bowls. Nobody is here watching me. I'm not doing it in necessarily like a public place, but if I so choose to, then I just choose to do that. But you don't ever wake up and just be great at something. It takes time and it takes courage to be curious about the thing and actually follow the leading without knowing. Like I said, I don't know the benefit of it outside of that I can kind of naturally gather that makes sense to my mind. But I imagine and I feel internally that there are benefits to that, like I told y'all before, spirit knows that I need, that I don't know nothing about. So I'm just doing it and I'm having fun while I'm doing it. I get to laugh at myself and all the mistakes that I'm making and different maneuvers I'm making trying to get it together. It is very much a learning experience. And the thing that we have to be careful about as adults is we're afraid to look stupid, even in front of ourselves. We are afraid to be beginner learners at things, but you don't ever master a thing without first starting. And when you're first starting, you don't know two shits about it most often. Or maybe you know one shit about it and you just follow the one shit until the two comes. So, yeah, Spirit is just saying to be patient with yourself and take those beginner steps and take on the beginner mindset, knowing that every little bit is a piece that you need. And keep doing that little bit until you can add another little bit to it. Don't try to listen. You first starting to work out. Let's say you are wanting to be fit, you want to become an overall athlete, right? Maybe for the first time ever, or maybe again, but it's been a long time. Well, in both scenarios, you're pretty much kind of starting over. So you have to take into account your physical capacity in the reality of where it actually is. You haven't done a lot of things for a long time. So there's a necessity to warm your body up, to stretch your body, to condition your body to do the thing that you are desirous to do. So maybe you start out walking. Well, first, maybe you start out with a warm up. You start out stretching so that you can loosen up those muscles. You don't just begin working out on cold muscles. You're all tensed up and they are tight. That is how you get injured. So you start somewhere. You start by stretching. You start by doing some warm ups to get your body conditioned to do the next thing. This is with whatever change it is that you are desiring to make. And this is an important message considering we have just entered our new lives. We have just entered our new timeline. And we're on to bigger, and we're on to better, and we're on to more, and we are expanding, and we're going the distance. We're doing all the things. We're doing all the things that we want to do, and we're just getting to it. The other thing Spirit is saying is you have to decide what it is that you are going to replace the thing that you have decided to give up with. So again, don't make a long list of stuff for yourself, because the truth is you lying at first. And you need proof. And you really got to prove this to yourself. We have got to make sure that we're continually rebuilding the trust within ourselves, because we've been lying to ourselves for so long, especially if these are things that we've been saying that we want for a long time and we don't have them. That just means that we've just been lying to ourselves. And the realization of that is okay at this point, because we are in a prime position to actually change that and be more truthful. But the first part is actually admitting that you have been lying to yourself about the things that you said that you wanted. And fine, now we're making changes. We're actually gonna start telling the truth. We're actually gonna start keeping our word with ourselves. And the more we do that, the more we trust ourselves to do all the things that we say that we're gonna do. So important. So important. Because you can't do nothing without your self-trust. That is the thing that builds your confidence. So we got to start there. We are taking on a beginner mind of building our own confidence back up in ourselves, right? So whatever it is that you are endeavoring to do, be very truthful about it. What have you been saying to yourself that you were going to do and you just never did? It's okay to see it. It's okay to have that in your face, because you don't got to stay there. But the first thing and the first step to actually making a change is knowing what needs to be changed. Being truthful and honest with yourself about what's in your face. what we're actually dealing with, the condition we are actually in. If you've been procrastinating that, if you just been lying to yourself saying, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna start working out this week, next week, next week, next week, next week, and it just goes on until you just never got started. Listen, all guilty. We've all done and lied to ourselves about something, and we customarily put off things. But time is up for that. And we don't have to change everything at once, is what Spirit is saying. Just take small steps and just make a decision about how we're moving forward. That's it. You if you make a long list of things to pile on instead of things that you're gonna give up, like bad habits that you're gonna give up, and even those, don't make it a long list of things to pile on or give up. What's one thing that you can give up right now? One thing. One thing. Maybe if you drank 2 cups of coffee, you can go down to one. That could be your first step. If you want to quit drinking coffee, if you want to stop smoking cigarettes, and you've been smoking cigarettes or smoking anything, and you usually smoke 3 times a day, maybe you can go down to 2 times a day. And just very small changes along the way. And then over time, you add more to that. Then maybe you can go down to 1 smoke a day. And then after a while, you won't need any smoke. You won't want the smoke. And it may take a little bit more time, but you're building up the confidence, and then you're leaving behind a track record of overcoming still. So you can't be a harsh judge of yourself about making this small change, is what I'm hearing. Just because you don't quit cold turkey doesn't nullify the whole process. Trying to quit cold turkey and thinking harshly of yourself because you can't do that produces within you angst, judgment for and of yourself, and discouragement. So you're really further pushing yourself into this hole of despair and can't, without really ever realizing it. You are discouraging yourself from the change that can take place with just small incremental changes. Make the small change. If you want to get off so much sugar, maybe switch off cane sugar to stevia or some kind of plant-based sugar. And then over time, you reduce the amount of that you have. Just make small changes. Small. You don't you don't decide that you want to be an athlete today and then go and try to run a marathon without training, unless you want to kill yourself. You want to die? No, you don't. And in this other realm of things, I'm being pretty dramatic with the do you want to kill yourself and do you want to die part. But like, you're really killing your esteem and your self-confidence. It's a slow death, but over time, just like we're trying to move in this other direction, slowly you've diminished your self-confidence and your self-trust with these small judgments of yourself. And it's not that you can't commit to a thing, because you've committed to the other thing this whole time. It's not that you don't have confidence, because you've been confident in this opposite thing this whole time. You just got to redirect your confidence, redirect your focus, and push it more toward building yourself up instead of tearing yourself down. It's self-love. That's what it is. And that's okay. Self love always seems and sounds woo woo to you and to everybody else at first. But listen, damn them people. You got something that you want to do for you. That is the most prominent and important thing. It takes precedence. You are your priority. So you do the small things that are going to get you these major results. And it'll look crazy and it'll feel crazy only until it works. Then the shit won't feel so crazy and it won't look so crazy to you or to them. Then they'll be asking you your advice about how you did it. And you can be like, you remember when I was looking crazy and I was falling all sideways trying to do the handstand? You remember when I was only able to be held up by the wall? That's what got me to the full on handstand. You remember, when I was just trying to get out the door and all I could endeavor to do at the start was just put my shoes on and walk around, my gym shoes. You remember when I had a desire to read 100 pages, but I got kind of tired when I was reading, so I started with reading 1 page a day. And then I kept building on. Yeah. You remember at first when I was just sitting and I was trying to hear my inner guidance and I wasn't really hearing nothing at first, and it seemed like I was just sitting there and I was getting kind of restless. But now I hear all the more clearly, and I can trust and know and feel my guidance. It all always seemed crazy at first. When you just sitting there playing and you don't really know the next move, but you got a big dream, but you do the small things. Maybe you start in your garage and then you build something great and you got a company that's worth trillions of dollars. I'll leave the name out. I imagine there are a number of companies that are very large, making so much money, that started in a garage. You got to start somewhere. Do not despise the small beginnings. That is about making those small changes. You don't get a big picture without small pieces. It's the small pieces that make up the whole. Make it palatable. You don't have to be a hard ass and try to get it, because it is get it all at once. That is the thing that has held you back all this time. Let's try something different. Let's be gentle. Let's be kind with ourselves, but let's be honest and actually take the small steps to get to the place that we want to be. And when you go on this route, you don't have to settle. Spirit was saying that the other morning. Don't settle. Don't settle. And I'm going to say this reluctantly, but I'm going to say it because I feel it. And this is when I heard it. I was visualizing and mapping out things that I desire in this life. One of those things is a Urus. If you know, you know. A Lamborghini Urus. Look it up. And then I paused for a second and I slipped into the lack mindset and said, but I'll settle for. And before I could finish the thought of I'll settle for, Spirit was like, why settle? If you can have it all, why settle? That's lack. You feel like you can't have that, so you'll settle. But if you know you can have that, you don't even think about settling. Want what you want. Know that you can have it. and go get it. Take these small steps to go get it. All of it. That's the message. I leave you this message in love and in light, only and always. Love on yourself. Make these changes. And until next time.